quiet commemoration late on an August day in Auckland Winter Garden. Exactly 70 years after this hatch opened and brought devastation to the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki below.
He was about to drop the atom bomb.
United States' 2 nuclear bombs ended World War II.
As suddenly as it started, the war came to an end and surrender ceremonies aboard the Missouri.
But killed over 100,000 people instantly and affected many more, not only in the years following 1945, but even today. These people are remembered here in Auckland 70 years later.
Today's event was, I think, very warming, that there was a great mix of people and more people than have been coming lately.
It's a lovely, peaceful way to cherish that little moment of peace where we burn the candles in memory of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Some had a special reason to commemorate the events of August 1945.
This part of the story is not easily told.
Like Naoe Hashimoto, whose father was at a Japanese Navy academy when the bomb hit.
He was among the last batch of soldiers, Navy officers, and if the war lasted probably 2 weeks later, he would have gone and I wouldn't have existed in this world.
70 years later, there are still 15,000 nuclear weapons in the world, possessed by at least 9 countries. But as a result of the atrocities of 1945, Japan itself has since had a strict policy against nuclear weapons. Or at least until now. Last month, a new bill passed through the House of Representatives that, if adopted, would give the Japanese military limited powers to fight in foreign conflicts for the first time since World War II. But that's not all the bill does. This month, Japan's Defense Minister Nakatani said that the bill would formally allow the military to transport nuclear weapons of foreign forces.
Allowing nuclear weapons into Japan reverses the policy, of course, of the last half century. So this does result in a fairly substantial, at least rhetorical change to see Japan then adopting a possible pro-nuclear stance.
Before I took office as Prime Minister.
Transportation of nuclear weapons goes against one of the 3 non-nuclear principles of Japan that states that the country shall not possess, manufacture, or let nuclear weapons be transported on their soil. The new bill from Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and his government has enraged both the Japanese public and activist groups like the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons.
On the one hand, it claims to be supportive of nuclear disarmament, and it uses survivors from Hiroshima and Nagasaki as well as the youth from those cities in order to present this kind of positive image to the world. But at the same time, it's taking these steps that would weaken its stance on nuclear disarmament. And this move is deeply troubling.
And for some countries more troubling than others. The Pacific Islands has had a turbulent history with nuclear weapons, and a new stance from Japan could make those feelings come rushing back.
This is an issue of great concern to the region, given that so many nuclear tests were conducted in the Pacific. There were more than 300 nuclear tests.
Kiribati, for example, close to nuclear test zones. The French Polynesian Islands, they will be concerned that a renewal of any kind of nuclear capability might result in future tests.
The Pacific Islands have long been fighting for nuclear disarmament, with the Marshall Islands lawsuit of the 9 nuclear-armed countries as the latest effort, and that battle should continue.
They have a unique perspective given the history of nuclear testing. It's important that they encourage Northeast Asia also to become a nuclear weapon-free zone.
And with the Japanese public also against any form of nuclear program, the Pacific Islands don't have to worry about Japan becoming a new nuclear player right now.
I'm optimistic that it does not. that the forces against nuclear weapons are probably stronger in Japan than any other country in the world.
With the Auckland commemoration coming to an end, one simple message stands out.
No more, never ever nuclear weapons to be exercised or used, because human suffering is just something beyond description.